Hello, friends of Love for Volleyball, Amor por el Volleyball. Today, I would like to introduce you to Lesley de Jonge from the Netherlands, a volleyball player and coach, the founder of Let's Keep the Ball Flying, a non-profit organization with the goal of creating positive change in the world through volleyball. Through Let's Keep the Ball Flying, various initiatives and projects, he aimed to foster connections, inspire change, and create a better future for all. After this brief introduction, who better than Lesley to tell us about his wonderful organization? Hello, Lesley. How are you?
Hello, Alfredo. I'm doing super good. I'm happy to be here with you. We have been meeting each other this year in Chile for the first time in the beginning of this year, face to face. That was very special. I'm grateful that you came to see me. We had a great chat, and story's been going great. I'm happy to be here. How are you?
I'm fine, thanks. Doing here and living our spring. Our spring in Chile is very beautiful, so I'm so happy. Winter's gone, so it's fantastic. Lesley, I wanted to start this conversation asking you about your beginning in volleyball. Where and why did you start playing in volleyball in your country?
Ooh, that's going a while back. I remember quite well, actually, that I was on a camping in a tent with my parents, and my dad was playing camping volleyball, very low level on the grass. And they asked me which sport I wanted to play, and I said volleyball. And they gave me the opportunity, privileged, like, but you can do other sports as well, like football, or you can choose what you want. And, no, I want to do volleyball. I was 5 years old. And never stopped.
When you started to play as a young kid, or maybe later in school or your clubs, do you have some inspiration, some players you maybe were inspired to do, or it was your own path in volleyball?
No, it was really seeing it in the camping with super low level, and I loved it. I can even remember the colors of the grass, how the court looked like. So I don't know, could be a positive trauma.
Amazing story. And tell me, please, how was your story in volleyball as a player? That you played at school, you played at a club. Tell me, please, more about this beginning of your life in volleyball.
So in the Netherlands, volleyball is not really a school sport. It's really being played in club level. So I started when I was 5, and in the Netherlands, at that time, you are allowed to play volleyball when you're 6. So I was underage, but in a few weeks I was turning 6, so I could start, and pretty much never stopped since that age. And when I was 7, 8, I believe, I changed club. I was a talented player. I was playing with the higher age group. Changed to another club, which is one of the biggest youth clubs in the Netherlands. So I was quite excited, because at that age I already wanted to be the best and probably train every day. And so started at that new club, and there things started to go pretty quickly, joining in national championships. And I knew I want to do volleyball. I want to become the best. I want to make it to the national team, and do everything that I can to become the best in the sport. And until I was about 14, 15, 16, that age, I continued doing that. And I remember very well, I had a national team situation, youth, where we had the selection for the under 16 group of the national team. And I had a pretty good hope that I got selected, seeing my own level compared to my fellow participants. But I was not being selected because I was too short.
Too short?
Yes. A lot of people always say,
so tall. It's crazy.
Yes, and of course, at that age, I was very much blind and very much ego inside of me of wanting to be the best, and having several yellow cards on my name in my matches, in fighting with referees, and so not the person I am now, for sure. And but looking back, I could see that they were totally right. Teammates that I had at that age are now in national team and international and much better than I became. So that was good to see also. But I was an outside hitter. At my 15th, I changed to become a setter. We were going to the youth national championships under 16. And Robert Andringa, who's now playing in Italy, who is part of our movement of Let's Keep the Ball Flying as well, and national team of Netherlands. He was my teammate, and he was also an outside hitter, and I was basically a bench player in that team. And there was no setters, so they asked me to do it. And I absolutely loved it after that year, and decided, you know what, I will do setter instead of outside hitter from that moment on. And until I was around 20, I continued to play setter until one league below the highest league in the Netherlands. Got to join 1 year in the Netherlands on the highest league, not starting player on the bench. Didn't play one match in the highest league, but it was a good experience. But playing for me was great, but I didn't have the in the end necessarily passion and strong body to really make it to the top in the end. But since I was 14, I was already in love with coaching.
Okay.
And I think that's a little bit strange because, I mean, most people start older. But I was mesmerized. Coaching was what I really loved. Started when I was 14. When I was 15, I had my own team as a head coach in the youth already, and pretty lucky to grow up in this club that was one of the biggest in the Netherlands, with a lot of different coaches and trainers to learn from. And so that's where my new passion, coaching, already started, and that has never stopped. So since my 14th, 15th, every year I've been coaching, and that's also a little bit more related to how Let's Keep the Ball Flying came to life in the end.
I wanted to ask you now about this. Why did you sometimes, or maybe it was a long process, do you start thinking about making something different? You were in volleyball, you were a trainer, you were a player. How does it a person in Netherlands, especially where sports, especially volleyball, you were Olympic champion, has so many great players, historic players and natural players. How a person who loves volleyball, who's passionate about being trainer, start thinking about, okay, what I will do something different, but something with a social impact. How was it for you to create this?
So the whole wanting to become a professional coach experience is a big part of it. Starting Let's Keep the Ball Flying is not something that just happened. It's a process that started from the beginning of my life. And the first levels of this process had to do with exploring and discovering what attributes the sport of volleyball have. And so I wanted to become a great coach. And in order to do that, I tried to not spend so much money in partying and alcohol and things like that, but try to save up. And I reached out to coaches if I could come and visit them.
Okay.
And see how they train and see how they coach. And I was buying books and mental coaching books because as a player I had some issues to deal with the nerves of stress in the higher level. So I was always trying to improve myself. And I experienced for a lot of years in a row that wherever I go, in the Netherlands or outside of the Netherlands, volleyball gave me access to support.
Okay.
So coaches, friends, players, they have always been ready to say to me, hey Les, we are having a practice. Would you like to come? We are going into the mountains. We would love to show you around as you are a guest in our country. And I'm sure that people who are watching this interview can relate that your friends, maybe your husband or wife, your best friends, your teammates all over the world. Volleyball is so accessible, and such a huge community, but at the same time, it feels still like a small family.
Yes.
I cannot call Messi and Ronaldo to go and visit them and see how they are training, you know. At least I didn't try, but I'm pretty sure that it's hard. But in volleyball, I could do that. I was able to reach top coaches, top players in the world, and they were always open to have me. And so that's the first big part, to understand and to experience that community effect of our sport.
Fantastic. I remember sorry, the interruption. I remember two persons who said, one person said to me, Silvano Brandi, a Olympic volleyball, Italian volleyball trainer, who told me he did the same as you're telling me right now. He calls the USA Volleyball Association. He wanted to see the training of the national teams of United States. He was an Italian trainer. Yeah. They said to him, let's come over here, watch our training, talk with the players, with the trainers. I was astonished, impressive. And the other player I heard the same as you're telling me is Hugo Conte from Argentina. He tells me that he always speak with trainers, with players around the world. He invites him to take a cup of coffee, and they talk freely about their training techniques, their tactics. It's amazing. So what you're telling me, it's very, very clarifying about this concept of the family of volleyball. It's amazing.
Yeah, totally. To be honest, I have tried once to do that in football as well. I've tried to get into the Manchester United team and see if I could walk around for a week inside. And at that time, it was Louis van Gaal, the Dutch manager that was having the scepter there. And I reached out through their physical training staff.
Okay.
And to be completely honest, they were very open as well. And I'm assuming that I'm not able to call Ronaldo or Messi and do things like this.
It's another level, yes.
Keep our eyes open. It might be possible, you know. We never have to say never if we didn't try it.
Exactly. And where came the name from? Let's keep the ball flying, and the concept of the fingerprints. Yeah.
Well, as I continued going through the motions of wanting to be a professional coach and traveling to new places every year. Every year I had a team, but I also tried with the teams that I had to go to visit, for example, Novara in Italy in the A1. We would go with my volleyball team and do an exchange and give that experience to the whole team as well. And all those experiences together brought me to the USA, to Egypt, to England, to Italy, Turkey, a lot of different cultures, a lot of different spaces, and
Chile.
Chile. Now, if we fast forward, it takes me literally all over the world. But when I was 27, I took my first professional job in the Netherlands, in the women's league, in the highest league, while at the same time I got a phone call to become the national team coach of Nepal in Asia. And I remember I was in Italy when I took that phone call. And of course I said yes, not understanding why in the world they called me to do the job. I've never done a national team. You know, I'm sure there's plenty of top coaches in the world that would want to do it. So I did it, and 2.5 years with Nepal had such a massive impact on me, Alfredo, from being the person that wants to coach, be the best, and you know, sometimes our life is quite simple. It's about winning or losing and doing everything you possibly can to make your team on the winning side. But Nepal taught me that there was way more than that. And not only in the court, also outside of the court, to experience the power of volleyball, not only through the sport and its community building effect and its family part of it, but especially also how the sport can literally change people's lives. And that was a really magical experience to me. And at the end of that period, I remember I was for holiday in Latin America, and reflecting on some parts of my life. And that was the first moment that the first idea of Let's Keep the Ball Flying came to life. I wanted to do something more than just coach, more than hotel in, hotel out, win or lose. And Nepal inspired me a lot, as well as how through my whole life the volleyball community has been there for me. And putting those things together resulted in, okay, how I'm going to leave a legacy in this sport behind, because I was always working with the teams that I coached on, okay, what is our legacy? What can we do not only for the team, but also for the club and for the people around us? And that all came together. And the logo and the name, Let's Keep the Ball Flying, to be honest, it was not so much thought. It was a 30-minute side project. And it's stayed the same ever since, but it's of course the connection between volleyball and the power of our sport to leaving a legacy behind, not with our feet, but with our hands. So that's why the fingerprint. And keep the ball flying. I mean, that's a powerful phrase in our sport. That's where it's all about when it's on your own team.
Absolutely.
But it reflects and symbolizes also that we have to do this together and the connectedness of our sport. So I would love to have a big story around the logo and the name, but it was actually just a very simple idea that just came to life, and started building a website using that logo with the vision. And after Nepal, I flew to Istanbul to have a chat with Guidetti and with Gabi, who I've been privileged to work with for the 4 years ahead of that. Also always so welcoming and so helpful having me there. And I pitched the idea to them. They were super excited and told me, Lesley, what you are waiting for. And that was my start sign. Okay, let's do something crazy and let's go.
And how was the start? Because you had the idea, you had the logo, you had your purpose, but how did you start? To make an idea from scratch to something real, there's a long way, or maybe not. Tell me, please, how is it possible?
To be honest, I'm not sure anymore. I've been pushing this dream, and this is a big story. I mean, it's easy to say, and everybody always understands it, but it's really true. People now look at Let's Keep the Ball Flying and they say, whoa, huge, how is it possible, you know? But this story is literally pouring on a daily basis my heart and soul into it, and growing with small steps every day, but put that 4 years in a row. And not only myself, I'm having a big group of fingerprints, we call them volunteers, around us that are supporting me as well, and put all of those steps together in all those years. It's building a business that if you put your heart and soul into it, it will grow. It will happen. And it started with just that idea and me making a website to be able to tell and share that vision. And I believe that our first project was collecting volleyball gear, used volleyball gear, and sharing it with people that need it, that don't have access to it.
Netherlands and in Europe, or where did you start this first project?
Yeah, in the Netherlands, in my home country. And so we still do that actually, but it was in the beginning, it was just that, let's see if we can collect the gear. But the vision in the end in the beginning, my vision was immediately what the big one. Like, I want to connect the whole world, the whole volleyball community, in doing something together. I don't want to start just a social volleyball project and create a school somewhere in a rural area. That was never my goal. It was always the bigger picture of trying to build that global movement in which athletes, clubs, beneficiaries, everything comes together in one place, which was tough because that massive vision, to get there is not easy. But in the end, all those small little steps grow together slowly into that big vision, and we're still not there, but I'm very happy and proud of where we are now, and I am so sure that in the next 5 to 10 years I will be looking back and not even able to comprehend all that happens.
Maybe not all the people who follows me knows more about the story, and my intention is absolutely to help a little bit, to amplify and to communicate what you're doing, what your organization is doing, and there's a story maybe you can tell us about your house in Netherlands. You were, maybe, I don't know, you have your house, but you needed money to travel and to make a living of this. How was this story?
Yeah. So Let's Keep the Ball Flying started a few months before COVID. Mm-hmm. So, and I was a volleyball coach, and we all know what happened in COVID. And with my team in the Netherlands, we were for a period not able to train except through video calls and this crazy period of time. So I was, I don't know, lucky, privileged to have more time available, volunteering my time in building this dream in the first year. That was a first privilege. But then the lockdowns happened, and my idea to connect with people suddenly started to become a lot more difficult. I was not able to travel. But okay, that first year was a lot of work on the laptop and building things. Then I was also very lucky that the club where I grew up, what I was telling you in the beginning, this club, they needed a new head coach to bring the first team to the highest league. And they called me knowing that my ambitions were to go abroad, and I was living 2 hours and a half from that place. And they were sure that I was going to say no, but they wanted to call me anyways. And I thought at that point, I have two options. One, I can go to Germany in the Bundesliga as an assistant coach, going full-time, and that would, all my volunteering time would be gone, because once you go pro, you go all in. My old club was a part-time job, and it kind of felt like finishing the circle, coming back home.
Yes.
With an amazing project to make the club go to the highest league. So I accepted the offer, and I said, okay, I will do this maximum 2 years, and then for sure either I go to a club abroad or I try to have an income in this foundation and make this my professional job. So 2 years. The first year COVID canceled, and the second year was one of the best seasons of my life as a coach. I loved the team. I loved being back home in the club. It was magical, and the team was able to make the championship also. So it was a beautiful ending of that part. And I was on a crossroad, because the foundation, the dream, the project was growing, was going super good, but a lot of opportunities, but very little resources. So it was 100% voluntary, not taking a cent of money, not possible. So what I'm going to do, I need to make money, but I also want preferably more than 60 hours in the week to build on this dream. That was not possible. I need to live also. And then, okay, the other solution was why not selling everything that I have? The markets were pretty crazy, so I could create a time frame of 2 years to be financially free, not worrying about an income, and literally do what I really want to do. So it felt like quite an easy choice, and did it. Sold the house, sold everything that I had, free financially for 2 years, and actually now it's almost 2 years, and I've been trying so hard to spend as little money as I could, so I am able still to go for a third year now.
Wow.
Thank
So-
God. Because I'm still not taking an income out of the foundation. Yeah, so that it's a big decision, but man, Alfredo, I'm best 2 years of my life. I traveled all the world. I've been seeing so many grassroots volleyball projects in rural areas, disadvantaged communities, spending this time fully in making this project grow bigger, and now having star athletes on our side as ambassadors and people getting involved, and it's been a crazy 2 years now, and that I still have to process. But wow, I'm so happy with that decision at the end.
We're speaking, we're talking about passion, we're talking about love for something you like to do. And I wanted to ask you how, I think I know the answer, but I want to ask you about how do you are able to motivate or to inspire people to follow you? Because we're talking about volleyball. Volleyball is a team sport. Even beach volleyball, you have a partner, and you're talking about the fingerprint concept. And I know you have a very beautiful concept about a team that you're building and you have working with you. How was this idea to invite people to work with you, and to have people like John Kessel or many great persons from volleyball with you, and also making them your greatest ambassadors? How was this concept created, or maybe it was part of a team group or team effort to do this?
The silver lining is always the volleyball community.
Mm-hmm.
So it was the beginning of the vision. You know, people in our community are always willing to help, are always ready to do something, and charity as a topic is something we do all over the world. But for me, I would like to do charity through volleyball, for volleyball. So we can do a lot of charity projects for example, in America, a lot of universities once a year do a charity event for cancer.
Yeah.
You know, and as much as I love all charity things going on, my main goal is to lift our sport of volleyball as a whole. So why not do charity through our sport, for our sport? I think that makes it more powerful in the end. Mm-hmm. And because a rising tide lifts all boats, right? We will all benefit from that together, as a sport, as people, as communities. And from the beginning, I just asked people that I knew from teams that I coached or people in the community, I'm looking for help. Do you want to help? And I'm not taking money, not asking you to take money, but we're asking people to spend 2 to 4 hours per week in micro volunteering and helping our cause. And people say yes to that. They love to. The sport is giving us so much. So if we can get a chance to give something back to our sport, yes. There are plenty of people that don't want to do it, but there are also plenty of people that do want to do it.
Exactly.
So, yeah, this has not really been an issue. Finding people that want to help. It's very difficult to project manage it with so many volunteers. Even now, in our phase of organizational growth, man, Alfredo, I can't wait to get to a point where we can hire a few professionals. I'm not talking about we need an organization of 20 professionals, but
Yes.
just 4 full-time equivalent divided over a few people, for example, would help us tremendously, because it's very difficult to manage so many small voluntary hours. We can grow so much faster even than what is already happening. But the people wanting to do something, they are always ready. We just have to ask, and ask it in the right way.
And Lesley, please tell me about, for example, one or maybe a few projects Europe have done yet with Let's Keep the Ball Flying, and I don't know, maybe in Colombia or Philippines. Please tell me the what you did in this project. Was it? Please tell me and our followers what is a project about? What is it? The story, what it does, what it gives to the communities. Please tell me more about one project in specific to know more about this.
So in our process of learning in the first place about projects, is that usually in disadvantaged communities, the problem doesn't lay in money. The most asked question on our side is about knowledge. What can we do when we have 50 kids and only one ball? We want to play volleyball, but we have no idea how we can organize it. And besides knowledge, it's also about access to a court, equipment, gear, shoes. This is a big lesson. We have had also in the beginning of the organization lots of people that come and ask for money, and in the end it were the people that never asked for money but just asked for help in terms of what to do and how to get some more balls. Those were the most passionate and motivated people in doing good. And our projects try to solve that issue. So we don't necessarily want to be an organization that says, we have a bunch of money, do your application with us and we can help you fund your project.
Okay.
No, this is great for federations, for example, but the people that we work with are going to, first of all, have an issue creating a whole application, etc. So we do a few main projects, and sometimes it's complicated also for us to see in which type of way we want to, under which umbrella we kind of want to put projects. We're evolving rapidly every year into new areas, but Gear Up, Rise Up is something that I'm really proud of at this point. This is the project where John Castle is also working on with us, where we are building a community platform, a volleyball toolkit with all this knowledge available, and we are giving it away for free. And this community platform is being built right now. the prototype is actually ready since yesterday, Alfredo. And it's magical. Together with John this summer in the Philippines, we built a toolkit with over 80 educational videos on how to create balls from coconuts and banana leaves, how to build more nets, how to engage a group of 50 kids on one court. You know, all the specific types of questions that we take that are not necessarily for where I live here in the north of Italy right now, but in rural areas all over the world are the major questions.
Exactly.
We answer them through vertical video on the phone and give free access to everyone, because international global volleyball stars are donating a part of their income for us to build this, so we can give it away for free. How amazing is that? But this platform, this community, online community, I am so excited for, Alfredo. This is going to be a massive thing, because the kids in communities can even enter an online call together with Gabi or Boskovic, you know, through this community, and don't have to pay nothing for it. And I can't wait to show everybody how this thing is looking like. But that's a project that I'm extremely motivated about at this point. But of course, our team from the beginning is also doing work with refugees, our Volley Beyond Borders project, because volleyball is such a social sport, non-physical contact. It's a team sport. It's really powerful in communities, and especially around refugee camps and areas. The sport works great in releasing stress, in building communities, new friendships, while at the same time, if refugees take new papers and go into a new country, it helps them integrate into the new country. If we help them connect to the local volleyball club, or if they can show that they have a coach diploma as a volleyball coach, because we're doing coach courses in and around these camps. And this is also a really beautiful project. And besides that, we are exploring a lot of different ways to do more, and that's a never-ending story, really.
And I will obviously include in my caption and my copies all the information of your website, of your social media. But I wanted to invite you that you're right now. Please invite people. Where can they find what you're doing? How how people can help you or be part of the team? Please, in a few words, say it, your invitation to the camera, please.
Yeah, of course. One, visit our website, LKTBF.org, the first letters of Let's Keep the Ball Flying, or our social media at Let's Keep the Ball Flying on YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn. We're all there. And I would suggest you to watch some videos and learn about what we are doing. That's one. If you see that and you think, wow, there are a lot of ways to help. You can become a volunteer with us. You can help fundraise or donate to the foundation, or even visit a project with us. There are so many opportunities that I would love you to explore on our website or our social media. Last, keep an eye on our Gear Up, Rise Up platform, guys, because this is going to launch pretty soon. And this is going to blow the whole volleyball community's mind, because it's that awesome, really. More information coming soon.
Fantastic. I could keep talking with you many hours, but I know you have a tight schedule. For me, it was amazing to speak with you again, Lesley. I love what you're doing. I always had said this, and I wanted to maybe pay back what you are done for many people, trying to spread what the foundation are doing with my channels. humbly, I want to help with my channels. I'm very followed in South America, especially Mexico, Peru, Brazil, Argentina, and I want the people knows more about what you're doing with your fantastic team and your initiatives and these fantastic ideas. So I wanted to thank you again for accepting this invitation. I know you're a world traveler. Finding you, it's very difficult, but you make your space and your agenda for speaking to me. So I send you a big hug from Chile. You know, Chile, we are very special and friendly people, I hope. So I wish you all the best with the project and hope that Let's Keep the Ball Flying will grow and make hopefully a better world through volleyball.
Thank you so much, Alfredo. A last message for Latin America. This year, we filmed our toolkit in Asia. The upcoming summer, we will be filming in Africa. And after that, we are going to film in Latin America. And this year, the beginning of this year, I was privileged to come to Chile, Argentina, Brazil, and Colombia. And the energy there is incredible. We know that from our side, Luciano De Checo and Yuki Ishikawa, who is massively famous in Latin America, want to come with us to visit Latin America and record this toolkit there. So everybody who is watching and wants to engage with us and make us come to your country to film with these players, get in touch, let us know, and we can't wait for it. And Alfredo, massive thank you for you and your community and everybody that is spending the time to watch these videos. It's a big pleasure for me, and I can't wait to meet you all.